Welcome to a series of podcasts discussing series of films.
I'm Matt.
I'm Dave.
In a world inundated with prequels, sequels, spin-offs, and reboots, we ask the question,
Do we need one more? I think we do.
I think we don't. Okay, so I want to just check. Did you watch this movie on Disney Plus as well?
did.
Like I did?
I did.
Okay.
This is my first viewing of the movie. I did not see this when it came out.
Okay, I didn't either, but I did watch it when I was sick at one time, and I stumbled across it on streaming. I don't know if you had the same experience with me. It took me a second to find this movie on Disney Plus, in the sense that we've obviously done a couple episodes now. This is our fifth episode, and each movie that we've watched, you get the like recommended for you, right? Is the first thing, and it was giving me the next movie every time.
Yeah.
It was always giving me, and like when we did Spider-Man 3, it recommended me The Amazing Spider-Man.
Okay.
It like went into the reboot. I watched Fantastic Four. I watched Rise of the Silver Surfer. I go get ready to watch this, and I have to plunge myself into the depths of Disney Plus to find.
Did you like go cave diving to find this
literally
movie?
was like, oh, it'll probably just because like I gotten used to it, and I looked at it and I was like, oh, it's not on there, and I was like, oh, maybe I just need to scroll to the other part. I scrolled to the other part, wasn't on there. Needed to scroll. I had to look it up.
Yeah. No, you know what's funny is apparently this movie is just called Fantastic Four not Fan Four Stick.
Yes.
Apparently, if you type the 4 in there, there's no idea what you're trying to talk about.
Yes. Well, so I like. Yeah, the reason it's Fan Four Stick is the logo, right? Is that I don't know if you remember the trailer when it came out.
Yeah.
Everyone went, Fan Four Stick? I remember like before the internet was discussing it, being like, what? Like,
yeah, they're like, but we thought it looked cool, and it's like grammatically is a nightmare.
It's a crazy thing to
it's like the show Numbers.
Yeah.
Never seen that show. Is that a good show? Does anyone know?
I don't know. I love David Krumholtz.
We love David Krumholtz.
Yeah.
I almost butchered his name.
He's lead numbers guy. I didn't watch the show. I don't know what happens in the show.
He's Mr. Numbers.
I just know Krumholtz is in it, and he plays Bernard, and he's in Oppenheimer, and I like him very much.
I need more of him.
He's gonna be in Supergirl.
Oh yeah,
He's Kara's parents. He's
both of them.
Kara's dad. Yeah, he's both
impressive.
of them.
It's like that Amanda Show joke where she's like raised by her dad, and he's like, it's really hard being both your mom and your dad.
Oh, and
he's like putting on makeup.
But no, he's in Supergirl, which will be great.
Good for him. I can't wait. He's fantastic. He's he's an amazing actor.
You know what has not been super fantastic?
This movie
and watching a team like the Fantastic Four
struggle
when they shouldn't.
They shouldn't.
It's so good.
They're literally the flagship. Like literally, Marvel built their industry on the back of these characters. So it's crazy that like the movies,
just don't
struggle so hard.
I think it's interesting too because in a textual way, like Marvel was, like you said, was struggling. They were kind of on their last legs, and maybe not that extreme, but they were not doing great. And the Fantastic Four in the 60s are what like really like.
What made them Marvel Comics.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting that at this current state in the MCU, people are not feeling very hot about it.
Yeah.
I understand the criticism. I have enjoyed a lot of the stuff in Phase 4 and 5, some not so much, but I don't think it's all terrible. But there is definitely a cultural... we are on the lower side of the curve in terms of people liking the MCU.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting the Fantastic Four are coming around, and maybe they will do what they did for Marvel Comics.
That would be cool.
Especially because they are such a, it's like in the comics pre-MCU, right? Iron Man, Captain America, Thor are not the biggest heroes.
No, they're all like their B tiers.
It's Spider-Man, X-Men, Hulk, Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Those are the guys. And they have finally gotten back. They got Spider-Man back in 2016. They now have gotten X-Men and Fantastic Four, and we're starting to get them in there. And so I'm curious to see how that ends up.
Yeah. I am too. I hope this movie's good.
I hope it. I really want it to be good
because after this week's movie, I'm just like, damn.
Yes.
Damn.
This movie is, I guess, yeah. So this movie, like we said, I vividly remember it coming out.
Yeah.
And the release of it, and
I was already a man when it came out.
I just like remember being in high school, and I used to watch trailers with your brother, my friend, our Spider-Man Connor.
Mr. Connor Vera.
Mr. Connor Vera. I think I watched the trailer with him. I certainly remember us talking about it. We used to have a podcast for a hot minute.
Yeah, did you guys talk about this originally?
I think we did. For people that are new to the show, the episodes are not up anymore. Don't worry, you don't have to go look for them.
Maybe we'll find a clip.
I doubt we had anything interesting to say.
Yeah. Just everyone be like,
yeah, just being like, what?
Get some sriracha.
Yeah, 100%. Oh wow, that's a deep cut. That's crazy.
That's a deep cut.
I love that. But
good times.
I remember this movie coming out and everyone being like, "Oh, there's a new worst superhero movie of all time." I think as time has gone on, it still is certainly in the conversation, but I think this movie is interesting. Not good. I think it's bad, but I think there's specifically a moment that I find very interesting and could have worked. And I think the movie completely gives up, takes a right turn, and then falls immediately onto his face.
Now, by interesting,
yes.
Do you mean bad?
I mean...
I know what you just said, but...
I mean, there is one moment that I think has potential.
Which moment? I think there's a couple... the thing that's crazy about this movie, it has a lot of potential going for it. It just never does it.
So I'll get right into it because I think it's important to get out the bat. This movie, very notoriously messed around with.
Very much messed around with.
Intense reshoots, cost a lot of money, changing directions, writers.
Yeah. The production of this movie apparently just was a shit show.
Yes. The concept for this movie going in was Josh Trank, hot off Chronicle.
Yes. A movie I have also not seen.
I have seen Chronicle. I
Chronicle
saw it.
Good. Like actually,
I saw it in the theaters. I remember liking it.
Or was it just like kind of vaguely edgy, and people were just like down bad for that?
I don't know. I mean, it was like 2012.
I feel like I'm being hyper judgmental of this. I have no idea. I just never seen the movie. I'm just curious.
I remember it being reviewed well.
I remember because there's like a moment where we were all like pro Dane DeHaan, and then like we just all of a sudden we're like, we hate this man.
It is the thing that, and this is maybe a bad thing about it. It is most certainly a bad thing about it. Chronicle is the movie that gave Max Landis his like cachet to do what he wanted, because he could go and say, I'm the guy that wrote Chronicle.
So giving Anton Fuqua energy. I'm from the man who brought you Training Day.
Yes, but
and nothing else.
Max Landis,
even though he makes a movie every year or so.
Max Landis, no good, very bad, don't like him.
Yeah,
glad he's not doing stuff.
We can leave him wherever we lost him.
Agreed. But so Chronicle reviewed well. Trank gets to do Fantastic Four, and he says that he wanted to do a Cronenberg style movie.
Yes, which the elements of that in this are kind of cool.
That is the thing that I like about this movie.
Yeah,
I think and we'll work our way through the movie a little bit, but I think when they come back from the negative zone, and we are discovering, oh God, do we mean like Arizona at night? But when
Wichita, I don't know where Wichita is. I want to say Kentucky, but I feel like
I don't think it's
the
Kentucky.
good people of Wichita are going to be like, fuck you.
Like, hey, when they come back from getting their powers, that scene I actually like. I think when Reed like wakes up and he's like unsure of where to go, his legs are stuck.
Yeah, I think that reveal of him like he's crawling, looks back, he's still under the rock.
I think that's a great reveal. I think Ben covered in rocks being like, Reed, get me out, and then
just Johnny like turfed out on fire.
When I watched this movie for the first time, like in bed, like not feeling well, And when I was watching, I was like, oh, whoa, okay, I get, this movie's, it's not amazing. When it
but it is fantastic.
But it is, that's true. We can't get around that. When he turned to Johnny and Johnny is still on the ground and he is just engulfed in flames, I went, oh, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Objectively terrifying.
I think it is maybe misguided to say, let's do the Fantastic Four as a horror movie.
It's like the wrong superhero to be doing this stuff with. Because they're so inherently, it's kind of like Superman.
But I do think
trying to do the dark and gritty just doesn't really work here, especially since they also can't make up their mind on how gritty they're going to go.
I think with the 2005 Fantastic Four, I think the movie being like, oh, we have our powers and now we're just going to like chit chat about them. I think if this movie was, and I don't mean to rewrite a movie with the benefit of, hindsight. But I think if this movie was, I'm going to say that again because I had a cough.
How dare you?
I'm sorry.
Bless you.
Thank you. I don't mean to rewrite this movie with the benefit of hindsight, but I think if it was this horrible accident that leaves him, it's horror inspired, and it is about how these people who see themselves as broken come together.
Yeah,
I think honestly, there is something.
You're onto
there.
something. Yeah, it's like there's a direction to go with that, and they don't do it.
And like I said in the last week, the idea of found family, of Johnny and Sue being adopted siblings, of all of that stuff, of Ben of exploring Ben's backstory and having him kind of be a kid that seems like he's not going anywhere and dealing with issues with his family and his older brother, and Reed being someone who's kind of socially outside of everything.
Yeah.
And, having them come together and become stronger after this accident. There is something there. I don't want to argue that it was there and it was messed up.
I don't think it was.
I don't think so either.
Because I did like a big deep dive on this because like I didn't watch it when it came out, so I was like I gotta catch up on all that drama, all that juicy goss. But like I guess that the first writer who was brought in to write the movie, whose name is escaping me, I should look it up really quick. Jeremy Slater. I guess he wanted to go more of the Avengers route with this movie and make it a little bit more light-hearted, like team up superhero.
Sure.
Like wow adventure. And Josh Trank really wanted to do the Cronenberg thing. And they basically just spent 6 months disagreeing, or 6 to 8 months just like not getting along. And then when he leaves, they bring in Simon Kinberg and I guess Simon Kinberg of X-Men fame.
Mm-hmm.
To
making a Star Wars movie, maybe. Who knows? One of 1,000 people apparently developing a Star Wars movie.
Yeah. Josh Trank also was supposed to do Boba Fett, and the chaos of this cost him that job.
That's right.
Apparently, he also his dogs destroyed.
Yeah, it was like
the house he was staying at,
property damage or something. There was,
which is crazy.
It is a never-ending well of stories about this movie's production.
Yeah, it's all sorts of stuff, and like Josh Trank apparently made Kate Mara miserable while filming.
See that.
And I'm like, what is this about these directors terrorizing the Invisible Woman?
And also, not giving her anything to do.
Kate Mara, which is good at pattern recognition, Matt.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Like I said it in the last week's episode, Sue Storm, they are consistently ignoring.
Yeah. She's a prop.
She disappears for a while. She's not there when they get their powers.
Which I thought was wild. I was like, wait, there's only 4 seats on that, and one of them is not Kate Mara.
One of them is Doom. It's crazy how they just continue to like be like, oh, we should just do nothing with this character, right?
Yeah. I mean, you could argue they don't really do anything with anyone in this movie.
No, I think when this movie starts, I like that we spend, I'm being very generous here, but a little bit more time with Reed and Ben and their relationship. I think them establishing them, in the beginning at the very least, I do start to like that they are, like when they move into the Baxter building and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. The Baxter Foundation.
Oh, that's right. Actually, I want to...
Hogwarts?
Baxter Foundation, the Baxter
Is
building.
it the X Mansion in this one?
It's not. It's a regular building.
Yeah.
I have never seen again.
It looks like the Netflix building in Los Angeles.
It does look like the Netflix building in Los Angeles. Oh my god, that's hilarious! I saw that on the drive today. But so the Baxter building in this movie, I just want to say, so we are both fans of Christopher Nolan. We're both fans of his Batman trilogy, as many people are. And
I'd be lying if I didn't say that I wanted to be a filmmaker because of The Dark Knight.
Totally fair. And Nolan is
Sue me.
Hey, Christopher Nolan, impactful filmmaker.
Mm-hmm.
What are you gonna do about it?
Not the Odyssey. Bada boom.
I can't wait. But when it comes to the effect that Nolan had on superhero movies in Hollywood, the Baxter Foundation in this movie, the way that it is visually represented, is one of the clearest examples of dark and gritty.
Yeah.
It should just be a regular building. And I find that deeply uninteresting.
It's like the movie.
Yes.
No, it's like crazy. It's funny too, because they're like, we're going to do a dark and gritty Fantastic Four movie. And this one feels like a Divergent movie.
Like
it feels like it feels like it's also being influenced by like the Hunger Games and like Divergent and stuff like that and stuff, because it's like this, like, here's a school for kids and they're teens and they're the chosen ones, it's just like get this weird energy of like,
so they said
like we're gonna do dark and gritty, but like it's not, like up until they do the Cronenberg stuff, it's really not.
No,
it just has a darker color palette.
So they're loosely basing stuff off, like, I think in the Ultimates.
Yeah, it's the Ultimate run
that they're
doing
younger, and I think they wanted to try that. Obviously, they also said they were not very subtle about it, that had this movie been successful before it was released, they were wanting to put them in with the X-Men and Deadpool and everybody. There was that whole photo. I don't know if you remember when, like, Apocalypse
was Channing Tatum in that photo?
Channing Tatum is in that photo.
Remy LeBeau.
La Diable Blanc. But he, like, they were like ready to do their shared universe with the characters they had. How, like, I mean, I would have loved to see the X-Men and the Fantastic Four, and I'm excited to see them interact in the MCU.
Yes.
This movie obviously then falls on its face, and then they're like, oh, I was in a different universe.
Pretty dramatically.
But so I'm sure they wanted to keep younger because they were kind of also prepping to hopefully, fingers crossed, make a ton of these and have these guys pop up all the time.
Yeah.
Like the previous movies, I like the cast.
For
the most
like
part.
The cast, just not with each other.
Sure.
That's like, it's like weird. Like, I'm like, all of these individually feel like good picks. I feel like no one in this movie has chemistry.
No. Because I think they kind of refuse. They like the movie doesn't allow them to. There are brief moments. I like the moment when Johnny is the standout yet again.
Yeah.
Because I think partially
seeing a reoccurring theme here
that Johnny is the standout.
Yeah.
Well, I also think Johnny is probably
Joseph Quinn. You got some big shoes to fill.
Joseph, I think he'll do a good job.
I think he will. He's good.
He is good. I like him. But Johnny is a very clear character. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think he gets to be the comedic relief. He's the hothead. And I think that tends to play better by being just so exactly what it is. Mm-hmm. Like Reed being the like smart but like dumb guy and like all that stuff. Like that stuff.
Yeah, the world's smartest dumb guy.
Yeah, like you can mess that up very easily. Not to say you can't with like the comedic relief, but like, Michael B. Jordan and Chris Evans are two actors who have unbelievable amounts of charisma.
The Riz is strong with these two.
They are beautiful men who are so good on screen.
Yes.
And so when you get them and you get them to be the fun, like hey, I'm messing around kind of character, it works. And like Johnny is the standout. Michael B is genuinely, I think, good in this movie. He's doesn't get a whole lot, again, like everybody else doesn't get a whole lot to do, but I think he is good. I like the moment when he sees Reed and he's immediately helpful.
I like that too. I kind of like that they were like, I see you.
Johnny is Johnny, but also like he he's like,
Yeah.
I want to help. I like helping people. Like
Yeah. The fact that they like instantly are like, nah, you're cool. Like, let's be friends. Like, I actually thought that was like a nice little moment.
And and then the movie goes, and this is I've said this to you off mic when I had seen the movie and you hadn't, that there's a specific moment. I don't think the movie's amazing, but there's a specific moment where the movie gives up. And it is immediately after they get their powers.
Yeah.
They get their powers. We literally cut to black.
1 year later.
And when we come back, it is a completely different movie.
It is.
It has become a standard.
It's like a movie that's shot in a basement.
Yes.
Kind of like literally, you're right. It feels like they just quit, and it's just like she's over here practicing her powers, and he's practicing his powers, and
Yes.
And the government's talking about them.
Yes.
Hooray for boardroom meetings.
Yeah, and
noticing a theme with these movies.
And the Thing has killed 34 people.
Yes.
34 confirmed
He's
kills.
an American hero, man.
How
do we feel about the Thing's design in this movie?
I don't hate the design. I wish he wore pants.
I don't like his eyes. They're so big.
Yeah, I get that.
They're like big. Like he's got like
it's
the eyes of a dog.
It's certainly not my like favorite design. I don't think it's like incredible.
No.
But like I'm like it's hard to really mess that up.
I kind of wish he had pants too.
It's weird that he doesn't.
Yeah.
It
goes back to my question from last week about the Silver Surfer.
Yeah, it's like
no penis.
Well, it's Dave's in the boardroom being like, "Listen, there's one thing that'll make this movie great."
You know why this movie failed? No dick.
It's true.
No,
but I think Ben. I like Jamie Bell.
I like Jamie Bell. I don't know how I feel about him as Ben Grimm.
It's weird because
and I don't think he's doing bad work in this movie. I just don't know that the character clicks for him.
Well, I also think all the.
I think he's a great actor.
He is a great actor.
I mean, I think it's just that thing of everyone's just underwritten and underserved.
Underwritten, underserved. Also, I think all of them, despite like we've said, they do still have vague echoes of the kind of basic archetype that each character is, but they all are also playing outcast.
Yeah, everyone's brooding and loner, but they're also like
Reed is smart and brooding and loner, and Ben is like emotionally unavailable, or when Johnny's reckless, and Sue is like caring but also completely disassociated.
Yeah, like no one wants to hang out with each other at all, and even when they are hanging out, they don't feel like they want to be hanging out.
Yeah, and I think again the movie has moments that are interesting. Again, I love when they come out of the power thing and Reed is stretched out on the table.
Horrifying image.
It's a horrifying image, but it's effective.
It's effective. It's and I like the idea of the because I don't know how to use this yet. I'm just like spaghetti on a plate.
I want to jumping kind of into how the movie kind of plays itself out.
Yeah.
I just want to say, if you're gonna cast genuine 10-year-olds as the young versions, and then you say what is it, 6-7 years later, and then it's 30-year-old Miles Teller.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about going to a science fair to explain some of this.
Also, that Sue and Franklin just walk into the movie.
They do. I kind of wish it hit honestly. If he was gonna get recruited into a school of geniuses, I kind of wish he got picked up when he was a little kid.
It's that
it should just ended that first scene where they do the teleportation. I feel should end with Franklin showing up and being like, "Have I got a school for you?" Just X-Men. If we're gonna do the X-Men thing, just do it.
It's just it feels really vague that they're I am assuming that they're watching Reed or whatever.
Yeah.
Because they come with the vial and they already kind of know that this is what he's doing. And yeah, it's weird to see Miles Teller and Jamie Bell stand in a room full of literal children and be like, we're peers and classmates and we all go to the same school.
It's that kid shoves me into a locker.
Yeah, and I was like, what? Because when he steals that kid's plane, he's like, can I borrow this real quick?
Yeah.
You're just an adult stealing something from
I like
a child.
that the kid called him a dick, because my line literally was, he is. You just destroyed that kid's plane. What the hell?
100%.
And this is my introduction to you.
Also, with that device, obviously very impressive.
Yeah, that should be impressive. And no, everyone's just you're lame, Richard.
A blue laser that becomes a sphere, and then the plane is gone. I don't care if it's a little dinged up or whatever.
Yeah.
That's good.
That probably should win, even though they broke a backboard.
Yeah. If anything, I'd be like, it's clearly super powerful. It destroyed a backboard.
If I was the teacher, I wouldn't be like, you're disqualified. I'd be like, I have to call the police or maybe the CIA.
Yes.
I think you built a bomb.
It's such a... Yeah, we just kind of... The movie really moves itself along, but each scene is just everyone kind of standing and just like kind of flatly delivering exposition.
It kind of is. It's a lot of exposition, and it somehow has the same problem of the last movie of we're all waiting for Reed.
Yeah. We're
all waiting for Reed. Only Reed can figure it out. So we're just gonna stand here and talk about how we're waiting for Reed to figure it out.
I know that I said that I like us getting a little bit more of like Ben and Reed's childhood and their backstory. Mm-hmm. I still think that isn't uninteresting. Ben's brother.
It's clobbering time. Interesting.
What a way to put that in the movie.
It's like, I feel like the idea and the conceit is that like this is a phrase that has tormented me, and I'm taking it Batman style, the thing that scares me, and I'm going to use it. I'm going to weaponize it.
Does not work.
Does not
at all.
Read. But
also, I don't know if you clocked it, but do you know who the actor is who plays Ben's brother?
No.
Chet Hanks, son of Tom Hanks. I did not realize that when I first watched it, and then when we were watching it, I was typing my notes, and he showed up and he said it's clobbering time, and I went, wait, and I had to pause the movie, and I looked
and
on
then he looked
IMDb.
at you and he went, my name's Chet, and then he
I was like, oh no. Yeah.
Oh no.
I think it's, again, I said this about Sue. I said this about Sue, and I think it's the same word comes to mind with this it's clobbering time thing. Feels really misguided.
Really,
to make it about misguided. His brother.
I don't think it's a move that works. I feel like it should be like, if you're gonna do that, it should be like a thing that like the brother says lovingly, you know, of like if he actually had a good relationship to his brother, and then his brother like died, and it's like, well, that was my hero, and now I'm gonna use this because I'm gonna be the hero now, kind of thing. Like I don't know, like it's just not to rewrite the movie.
I honestly think it's one of those things where, and I get people don't like the turning and winking to the camera in superhero movies, being like, yeah, this is silly. But I honestly think in the 2005 one, when Johnny comes in with the action figure,
it's a much better,
and it's just like something the toy company made up. And then the idea is that like Ben embraces that.
Yeah.
I'm saying nice things about the movie that I said nothing nice about in a movie. In an episode we're not talking about the movie.
The shocking thing is we're like crapping on that, and we're like, and these are the good ones.
Yeah. Like the idea that like, you know, I think that's stronger. I think it's a bad idea to do it like this.
Yeah.
But again, I like Reed and Ben together. I like when they go into the Baxter Foundation and he tosses him the Swiss Army knife. I think that's a really cute moment.
I forgot about the Swiss Army knife.
It's because when
they're kids,
he shows them the thing,
and
he uses it.
Yeah, I watched this like just a couple days ago, and I've already forgotten most of it.
Yeah, that's why we take notes.
That's why we take notes, but I took exactly 1 page.
Oh yeah, this is probably the shortest that I had.
Because in my notes this time around, sorry, no game. You're not going to get to decipher my notes because we don't have any of those. Because all of my notes are just questions.
Sure.
Like mad scientist Reed ? A Reed who wants to be famous. Tim Blake Nelson.
Wonderful actor, good in everything.
Amazing.
Doesn't get anything to do.
Apparently, he was originally supposed to turn into the Mole Man.
Yes.
They were setting that up, and that got cut in the rewrites.
Don't understand there was Herbie the robot was supposed to be in this.
Yeah.
The Fantastic Four was, or the Fantastic Car was shot.
Yeah, which answered
scenes.
one of the questions I had, because I had so many questions about like, what is Reed doing when he like lays halfway through? I mean, I guess we should actually like talk plot like to get into the movie, but like, yeah, it's just like I had so many questions because I was just like, why did they do that?
Yeah,
we're over here now. Oh, okay.
This movie,
why did we do that?
It does the thing of the first movie, but it just takes longer. Where it's like we're retelling their origin.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of it being space, it's interdimensional travel.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing
instead of a breakneck. We're gonna give them their powers in 5 minutes, and this time it's gonna take maybe 45 minutes.
It's 45 minutes until they get
the 45 minute mark. I just wrote a note. 30 minutes, still no powers? ?
Yes, and it's not like the first Spider-Man movie where it's like I think it's like 45 minutes for him to put the suit on because he already has his powers.
Yeah, he gets the powers
so
about
we get to have
15
fun with
minutes
them.
in, and then it's like by the 45-minute mark, he's officially Spider-Man.
He puts it on the suit. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot. That movie utilizes time like a weapon. It is beautiful. It's like watching a samurai like in action.
It's incredible. And then in this movie, there's a time lapse, and it's maybe the slowest time lapse I've ever seen committed to film. It is us building the machine. It's in just random wide shots.
Yeah,
it's
I like
completely
it.
silent.
I like that. There's a moment where he's like, hey, they got books I've never read before. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea is here.
Well, it was also that thing where
he's like, they've got books that I could never read, and also my favorite one.
It's funny because
the little train who could.
when he talks about books that he's like, look at all these crazy books that they have, and it's all books that are
just Dr. Seuss,
presumably outdated.
Yeah,
like, they have books on chemistry from the 60s or something, and I'm like, wouldn't that be like a bad thing to look at? Like, other than just being like a fun piece of nostalgia.
The key to DNA is there though.
Oh,
maybe.
It's in space. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
We have to take our.
We're just doing
planets.
interdimensional travel.
Yes. So it's not the negative zone, right? Because they can't use that, or
yeah, well, because then.
Well, no, but they can, right? Because they have the rights to that.
There's no reason they can't. They just called it Planet Zero in this one.
Yeah.
I almost said Planet X, but that's not.
Dimension X. We're trying to talk about turtles again.
Dish is wearing Ninja Turtle socks this week, so
our producer's wearing Ninja Turtle socks, and I recognized it the second I saw him, and I haven't said anything until now. He literally.
I think Dish wants to talk about Ninja Turtles.
I would love to talk about Ninja Turtles.
Okay. Actually, you know what I've just realized? Why I don't like the Thing's design in this? Because he can't wear a trench coat.
Oh my God, you're so.
So I just on that criteria alone, this is a bad design.
Where is the Thing walking around in a coat, being like, "Wish I could go watch a movie, but I can't because
what is this? The Jose Canseco bat?
Dude,
tell me you didn't pay money for this."
Look, I was gonna quote it, but then
sorry.
No, you nailed it. I was like, that's the line that sticks in my head. But yeah, it's like the whole movie is building to this whole thing of interdimensional travel, but then it's not interesting.
No, it's not.
We're not like it's not like we're doing like some visually exciting, like for lack of a better reference, like Doctor Strange learning his magic power. You know what I mean? Like
they go there and
it's boring.
It's boring. It's like not even like in a original Planet of the Apes kind of way of like, look at where we are and let's ponder our life and talk philosophies and stuff like that. It's just like it's just
a desert at night.
A desert with
there's
some
like green water.
Yeah, LED rocks.
Yes. So I like the idea of
techno lava. Is that what it is?
I'm fine calling it that.
Techno lava. All right.
Yeah. I'm not entirely unsure that is probably what they called it when they were developing it. But so I don't hate the idea of them building the machine and the government coming in and being like, "Great, thanks for building it." And they're like, "Yeah, so we get to go in." And they're like, "What? No, you built it. Like, no, we're gonna hand it over to astronauts." Like, kind of thing.
We're gonna put real people in this.
Like I think that's funny.
Real people. I don't know why I said that.
And then we move into the scene where they decide to get in, and they're drunk, he said with quotation marks, because no one is playing it drunk.
Not really, no.
There's the small moment where we're doing the like...
Play it a little goofy.
Yeah, there's a Yo Mama joke.
Yeah.
The Yo Mama joke I'm actually okay with because Reed is a nerd and I'm accepting that.
I won't lie, I forgot they made a Yo Mama joke.
Yes.
I've already forgotten.
It's not a good one. Where do you stand on Miles Teller as Reed Richards?
I don't think I really care for it.
Yeah.
But it's like that weird thing of like, I never read the Ultimates version of Reed Richards. Sure. And I know, in the comics, they kind of like have kind of done this, like Reed's kind of a dick thing that they've been doing. But I just don't know that whatever they're trying to do in this, it's just, I mean, there's so many choices that just aren't working in this movie. And so like, I feel like Miles Teller could be a good one, especially if you're doing like a young man version of it.
Sure.
But it's like, I just don't think it's working.
Yeah, there are moments,
and I think he's great in Whiplash, and he really I feel like for what I saw this movie like back in the day, I feel like I kind of had a sour opinion of Miles Teller, and then Top Gun Maverick came out, and I'm full Rooster great. Now.
Dude, Great Balls of Fire,
Great Balls of Fire, like, and I'm like, damn, now I'm like, I want to see like Miles Teller now get another crack at it almost.
Yeah,
but we will get to that in a little bit. But it's just like weird, like they're trying to do like the nerd thing.
Yeah.
And I just don't.
You don't buy it?
I just don't buy it.
Yeah, I mean, I also like again like
Just everyone feels so out of place in this movie. Which again, like I just have the question of like I
Well,
love all these people as these characters individually. Together, I think it's a terrible cast.
yeah. Well, they also they don't really feel like they
And I don't think
want to
that's
be
their
there.
fault. I feel like it's just the problems with the script and the production and everything going into
Yeah.
it. Like it just feels like everyone kind of got screwed over. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, because also the reshoots in this movie are some of the most obvious reshoots I've ever seen. With apologies to, specifically like Kate Mara. I feel so bad that she had to wear that
they
wig.
found a way to whitewash her in this one too.
It's
She's already white.
it is crazy how obvious that wig is.
Yeah.
Her hair is an entirely different color.
It's not even, yeah, I'm like, come on. Like, you're going to spend how much to redo this and you're not going to match the hair?
I also rewatching it, the CGI not very good.
Not really.
Like Ben look like the texture on the rocks.
The texture's
all that
good.
looks fine. The green what did you call it? Techno lava?
Techno lava?
The techno lava in the
Daft Punk lava?
Oh, that's pretty good.
Which is better, techno or Daft Punk?
I like techno.
Techno? All right.
The techno lava.
Around the world. Around the world.
The techno lava does not look good.
Sorry to interject. Is that song Daft Punk?
I actually don't know.
Comment.
Are we allowed to use it or sing it? Does that count?
I only did a snippet.
All right, I
You
agree.
gonna get sued over 5 seconds, or is that a sample?
I don't know.
I'm getting a
We
head
don't know.
shake. I'm getting
It's
a
fine.
head shake.
But I
Or maybe he's telling me not to do this joke anymore.
like the techno lava does not look very good.
No.
The like there's a lot of it. Like, the
Yeah, apparently in the
negatives
original draft there was like a big old dragon.
what?
Yeah, like there was a big monster techno dragon situation, and that was like how they got their powers, was like a monster. And when Doom is like left behind, he like kills it and like absorbs it or something. This is like in one of the drafts. I don't think when they were getting ready to shoot it, I don't think it was like written out in the rewrites. I think that at that point they had abandoned that part, but
okay.
that was where I think the techno lava began.
That is this movie's Doom with a bazooka, where that sounds so dumb, but I want to see that. Where was that?
I will say I want to see this Doom with a bazooka.
I would like to see this Doom.
Dude's got like exorcist powers where he's just like looks at things
Yes.
and like bursts people.
I want to say Toby Kebbell is a great actor.
He is also maybe one of the most underrated actors ever.
Because unfortunately, you know, I think he's good in he's not in it a ton as a human character. I think he's good in Kong Skull Island. He does the mocap for Kong in that movie. I think that's
Dawn of the
pretty
Planet of
good.
the Apes.
Yes, he's fantastic in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
He's amazing. Yeah.
I haven't watched Servant, but I know
Machine Gun.
it's a great performance. I hear he's good in Servant. I haven't watched that show, but I know people like it.
What is Servant? I've never heard of this.
It's the M. Night Shyamalan Apple TV show that has
Oh,
Rupert Grint.
yes.
He's like one of the co-leads
Yeah.
of that.
I saw him in a movie called A Monster's Call,
Oh, I didn't see that movie.
which made me cry.
Yeah,
I cried so hard when that movie ended.
Movies
And
do
he's in
good
it as like the
sometimes.
kid's dad, and he's really good in it.
But he's like he obviously very famously. They were originally not going to have him be Victor Von Doom.
Mm-hmm.
He was Victor Domachev, and
Yes,
he wasn't from
and then they-
Latveria. He
yeah.
was just a
He's
computer
from
programmer.
Jersey.
Yeah. Well, again, you just take the ferry.
You just take the ferry,
It's like 20 minutes.
but it's right behind Staten Island. Don't take Battery Park. You'll get stuck in traffic.
But I remember that, like the trailer, I remember that coming out and people being like, don't do that. That's a bad idea. We don't like this.
Yeah.
So you get Tim Blake Nelson doing like clearly ADR
Yeah.
of Victor Von Doom. Like,
Yeah.
and you have the little country of origin Latveria just to shove that in there so that
Yeah.
fans
It's
don't
like this
yell
goes
too
into my
much.
thing of like, this is supposed to be the gritty one, and you have a man whose name is Dr. Storm.
Yes.
Like, which is an inherently silly name. Like, these are silly characters.
They're comic book characters.
They're comic book characters. I don't say that like as a bad thing, but to like
No, I
look
love
at this
it.
and be like, make it dark, make it gritty, and then to kind of fall in this weird, divergent aesthetic is like, it just fascinates me top to bottom. I'm
Yeah.
so confused by
And
all the choices in this movie.
There are some things that we like to add, like the whole conversation with Franklin and Johnny, him being like, you're not doing anything with your life, you're drag racing, what are you doing? But then it doesn't
It's like, I'm being cool, Dad.
really go anywhere. There's that moment
Yeah.
where You
It's
know,
also funny. Sorry to derail, but like Michael B. Jordan, early in his career, being as small as he is,
he does. I noticed that too. Like he's still obviously in very good shape.
He's in incredible shape. He'd blow me out of the water in that movie alone. But like, by the time we get to Creed 3, where he's just like,
well,
I am my father, Adonis. Like,
I mean, you know what is it? 3 years later, I remember watching Black Panther, and he takes his shirt off on the waterfall, and I was like, whoa.
I choked on my drink when I watched Black Panther for the first time.
That's nuts, dude.
And then I heard that story about that girl who broke her retainer, and I was like, same girl.
Yeah, honestly, we all collectively did.
I think the theater collectively gasped when he took his shirt off. Like, it was incredible.
Good on him, dude. But like you have that scene where it's like, oh, Johnny, you need to be doing more with your life instead of like racing cars and crashing them or whatever.
Yeah.
And there you get one moment. Again, it's like the other ones, you get like whispers of character arcs of Johnny being like, hey, maybe this is what I'm meant to do, is work for the U.S. military. Yeah. Like, it's like
this movie has plot arcs the way LaCroix has flavor. It's like the people just kind of whispering it over the top.
Yeah, it's the notion of.
It's like someone kind of like leaning in quietly, being like, Jerry.
How do you feel about? I don't know if you picked this up, and I think this is what the movie is doing. So Johnny, obviously, when he gets his powers, he's eternally on fire.
Yes.
And
he has the suits like help them.
The suits monitor that he can like level it.
Yeah.
I like the.
Sounds like a cool idea, but I'm also like, well.
And with the Johnny one, it's like, you know, they do it a couple times where like the camera's just not seeing it, so he's basically doing it.
Yeah.
Like
but it's funny that he'll be like flame on and then like turn it on like a Power Ranger, like he's like shifting to turbo.
It's weird. Like it is funny also that like, you know, obviously then this is where I was like the movie gives up, is that it's like we cut to black and then we cut to just like random security footage and Tim Blake Nelson being like, yeah, they've all mastered their powers and they know how to use them, and we've sent the thing on military operations.
Yes, which was the sequence they apparently did shoot. And then they just cut around it.
Yeah, because it's that shot of him dropping from the helicopter.
Yeah, which was in the trailer. Which I'm just like, why can't you intercut to the actual mission during that boardroom meeting? That would have been sick as hell.
Again, this movie, hour 40. Yeah. It's the longest of the three, I believe.
Is it really?
It's like the longest of the three. It's like an hour 42.
Let's see here.
Which is also
that is horrifying.
Not very long at all. Which I'm not saying.
My IMDb just showed me a photo from years ago that I used in my profile, and I'm like, ugh. Like Sideburns was not the look for me.
Hey.
Yeah, hour 40, and then the original one's hour 46. So this is not. I guess
not the longest?
Probably might be the shortest. I feel like
feels
Rise
the
and Silver Surfer. It feels the longest. Let's see, where's Rise of the Silver Surfer? Give me a second here. A lot of movies that I've looked at this week. Let's see here. Rise of the Beast, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Rise of Skywalker, Rise of the Guardians. There it is, Rise of the Silver Surfer.
You're watching a lot of movies.
Hour 32. I just typed in the word Rise because I got lazy halfway through that. I thought it would have popped up a little faster.
Somehow.
Evil Dead Rise. And then just a movie called Rise.
Oh, is it the elevator one? Where it's like the devil's in the elevator.
No.
Remember that movie?
Yeah, I do. The devil's in an elevator.
Yeah.
The twist is no one cares.
It's like it's like Dracula on a boat.
No, this looks like a basketball movie. It's like a Disney Plus. I can't tell if it's a documentary or a...
We're doing it again. We're talking about other movies.
What did you think of the movie Rise 2022 basketball drama?
I didn't see it. I hope everybody had a good time, and I hope it's good.
Evil Dead Rise. How do we feel about that movie?
Into it, good.
I'm into that movie. We should cover Evil Dead
I would love
in a future episode. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, we'll probably do it. We'll probably do it. It's not. It's.
I need one more.
Oh yeah. Give me
not to spoil an episode we don't have planned yet, but
can I, since we've already stopped talking about Fantastic Four, give us 2 more seconds where I can say something else?
You can have the rest of the episode.
Bring back Ash versus Evil Dead.
Yeah, actually, you know what? I want one more season of Woody's Roundup while we're at it.
People, this is ridiculous. It ended on the biggest cliffhanger we do, and I say this as a positive thing, we do every cliche in a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Every single one. And I didn't get it again. I know it was on Stars. I know that now because I didn't know it when it was airing.
Yeah.
Because nobody knows what's on Stars.
No one knows it. The Stars doesn't know what's on Stars.
Bring it back.
Outlander.
For the people listening to this in the audio, I'm looking directly into the camera lens. Please Please bring Ash versus Evil Dead back. That show was very good.
This is now an official Bring Back Ash versus the Evil Dead podcast.
Starting the petition. It's
Episode
happening now.
1.
I'm not the only person that's done this. I'm very serious.
Let's do it.
But
no, we get
Fantastic Four. I needed to say that online. Yes, the unbelievable little slip that you did in last week's episode.
I wish I could say I'd planned that because it feels a lot smarter.
I think with this movie this feels even more like we just need to keep the rights.
Yeah, well, it's like when they had to do this, it was the same thing. When they did the Chris Evans ones, that was like a legitimate Spider-Man's big, let's try to do it. Like, I don't think their backs were up against the wall the way it was in was it 92 when they did the Roger Corman
93
90,
I want to say
93 94
it's the
kind of
same
thing.
year Jurassic Park comes out.
Then it's 93. Yeah. Wild.
Yeah, crazy, right?
But yeah, it's $1 million movie. Shout out to Roger Corman, the master of the budget.
True.
And if you were hoping we were going to cover that episode, never came out. Doesn't count.
Yeah,
we'll do it. Maybe when we start a Patreon series, we'll cover that one. But,
yes. Yeah. If people really want to see us cover that, I would be open to it. Yeah. I've never seen it.
Comment. Let us know. That's something you guys are dying to ask.
We figured we'd do the officially released ones.
Yeah, the officially, because again, the question is, do we need one more? So,
sure.
And I think definitely not going to get one more of those.
You don't think?
Another $1 million Fantastic Four movie?
Yeah, you don't think that's possible? I think so. No, I don't think it's.
I don't think it's gonna happen. But hey, all I was thinking was I just want them in the Council of Reeds too.
I was gonna say when they get their powers, so them getting drunk and going in there.
Yeah.
Where do you stand on that?
Seems like a dumb move.
Agreed. It does seem
seems
like
ill-advised.
But the thing is that
I think they should have called an Uber.
If that
gone home.
If we were actually playing it where we were they were playing it more drunk.
Yeah.
Like, not to say that they need to be
it
just doesn't feel.
It doesn't feel authentic.
No,
and again, this gets back to my thing of I just don't think this cast has any chemistry with each other.
No, I think you're right.
I think that's what I think holds this movie back the most is that because even with the previous movies, which don't have that great of a script, with love to the screenwriters for all the original ones,
sure.
It's just that thing of
movies get written to death.
With that one, at least the cast has chemistry and they're fun to watch, and you have that at least kind of carrying you through it. With this one, you don't even get that.
Yeah,
and you don't even get good action sequences. There's no action sequences in this movie.
No,
just some explosions and some crying.
Which is where I'm Trank had this vision of it's a horror movie, and so it's like. We maybe
getting a writer who doesn't want to write that seems like a bad move.
Yes, a writer who apparently wants to write a Fantastic Four movie.
Apparently,
was like
a guy who apparently was like, "Hey, you should read these comics. These are what I think are the ones we should try to draw from." And Josh Trank was like, "No."
That's again, it's like I appreciate maybe having a new angle on this, and I don't think it couldn't work. Like what I was saying,
there's no reason for this not to work. It's just making all the wrong decisions along the way, Yes. Because again, that moment when they come back and he's on fire and he's trapped in a cocoon of rocks, and the other guy's just dead, and you're like, now I'm melting. Apparently, that is objectively horrifying and would be cool.
There is something there.
Yeah.
Something
there. Not a movie, but.
Reed obviously leaves. He escapes.
Why
after
does
the
he
accident.
leave? Why does he feel compelled to leave? And no one else does.
Yeah. No, they don't, do they?
And then I thought, and I think this is one of those things that the reshoots screwed this over, but I guess what is Reed building? What is in the time skip? What is he trying to accomplish?
He's trying to,
because he seems like it's just a shitty friend.
I think he's trying to find a way back to the Planet Zero.
I thought he was building another thing, but based on what got cut, it actually seems like he was building the Fantastic Car.
I could totally see that, but it seems like he was.
Maybe he did
in the
both?
movie, they're trying to say that he is finding a way back so that he can collect, he's able to see if he can reverse their powers. Because again, it's
why didn't he try recreating the storm?
That's a good point. At the end of the day, you really should just recreate the Cosmic Storm.
At the end of the day, you should just recreate the Cosmic Storm.
And Doom, as the villain of this movie, by the way, disappears after that sequence. They get their powers. He's seemingly
presumably
killed,
dead.
Presumably dead. And
he dances a fiery death on the techno lava.
Yes, very true.
Skywalker style.
And he's just gone.
I call this one the Skywalker. Oh!
He just catapults himself. I wish something interesting happened in that scene.
Yeah.
He's gone from the movie, and when he comes back, he's
got a trash can. Not a trash can, trash bag on his bus. Did he get that? Where did he get his cloak? Like, I
was talking about this with Dish off air, that there was a version of this movie, I think you maybe have looked at it in your research too, where they were going to have Galactus, and Doom was going to be Galactus's herald.
And his version of the herald would have a trash bag on his head?
Presumably. That his look would come from Doom, or from Galactus, is what I'm assuming.
Yeah, I think it's hilarious that in this movie, and it turns out actor-wise, when they go back finally to the Planet Zero Phantom Zone situation.
Yeah.
I guess it's in the Fantastic Four, it's the negative zone, right?
Negative zone, I think. Yeah. Phantom Zone is Superman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Should have just been like a big sheet of glass with him being like, oh.
That is
boom, 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 boom,
more visually
boom, boom,
interesting
boom, boom.
than what we have in this movie. Yeah, just he's stuck, man. But so
Doom should have just been standing there with like a couple of big rings going wom, 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 wom.
But awesome. Guilty. That's how I feel about these movies. But so
can't wait to talk about Superman.
Yeah, true.
Spoilers,
which we may or may not cover. Who knows?
That didn't get confirmed.
Hey, no,
I can neither confirm nor deny what is on the schedule for the rest of the year.
But so you're saying the actor that goes back to the negative
zone?
Oh,
no. So when the next round of astronauts go back to the negative zone, Planet Zero, whatever they decided to call it in this one, it's not Toby Kebbell. Is it Kebbell or Kebbell?
I've heard it's Toby Kebbell. Is what I've heard. I might be wrong, but that's how it has been. We're gonna have to ask him. We're just gonna have to call him up.
Toby Flenderson.
You know what? Why not?
No!
As Doom?
God! Okay, Fantastic Four, but it's Office characters. So Rainn Wilson is the Thing.
Rainn Wilson is the Thing. I could see that.
Is Krasinski still Mr. Fantastic in this, or are we doing Michael Scott?
I think Michael Scott's the Human Torch.
Yeah.
I think that would be fun.
Yeah. Creed is the Mole Man.
Creed is the Mole Man. Wow,
Daryl is the Beyonder.
That's really funny. Wait, did you say Toby was someone? Because if you haven't, I think he's Galactus.
Well, based on what we were started with this guy, I thought he was Doom, but I'm fine with him being Galactus
just
too.
Like being 100 feet tall.
And he's like, "Hey, you should really sign the paperwork." Who's the Silver Surfer then? Is that
Kelly.
Krasinski? It's Kelly. She's like, "Oh my God, Ryan! First of all, how dare you?"
I'm into that. But
maybe the greatest exchange is like, "What's your? Do you have any questions?" Yeah, I do. How dare you? First of all.
That show's fantastic.
That show's great.
But yeah,
sorry. They went back to the Phantom. I got sidetracked doing Office gags. Talk about anything but these movies, I guess. No, but when they go back, the guy limping, the Doom that is limping is the stunt double, I believe, and not Toby, who was very mad about this because he's like, I would never have limped.
Good on you, Toby.
And if it was Jamie Foxx, he would have been like, is it his birthday?
But what if it was his birthday? How do you feel about the idea that Doom's look comes from the astronaut suit essentially space bagging to his skin?
It's another one of these ideas that I think is really interesting. It just ends up not working.
It's that thing.
I think if you told me all the ideas that were going to happen in this movie years before it came out, I genuinely would have been really, really excited and so disappointed with the final result.
I think it's a testament
to... It all sounds cool. It just ends up not being... Like, it just ends up not working the way they do it.
I also think it's a testament to the idea that... And again, nobody says that to make a bad movie. It seems like there was a lot of chaos that was going on when this thing was getting made. But there is a difference...
No one really being on the same page.
No. There is a difference between different and interesting. And... that is a fine line.
It's a very fine line.
Just because something is different doesn't mean it is inherently interesting. And just because something is interesting doesn't mean it has to be different. You can do something that is classic and still effective.
Yeah.
And you can change. You can put something on its head and find it interesting, or change for the sake of changes. Like I can see being like, oh well, it's wrapped around his skin, and that's how we're doing it. But at a certain point, again, like we talk about in the last episode of that Doom being in name only, they take that bar and they push it even farther with this.
Yeah,
that it's like he's just some programmer that worked. I do like that he created the same machine that Reed does, but it didn't work.
Yeah, he was missing something, and then Reed actually figured it out way before he ever could.
But we don't really do anything with that when it works.
Yeah.
He's just kind of like, oh, finally, it worked. That's so exciting.
We did it.
Yeah, and it's like, hey, you should be upset, actually. Like,
probably should. That
Doom
feels like
should be,
sufficient motivation to be like a bad guy.
To get revenge is being like, you took all the credit. I built all this. Maybe he swoops in at the last second and fixes the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because we just get the monologue, we get the montage, we get them like working together.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm not opposed to them being
I
like
guess
friends to enemies.
I guess in one of the drafts, or maybe it was in the rewrites, I guess they were setting up this thing of like Reed is like a follow the rules, and then Doom is like a nah, the rules don't matter. We can do whatever we want. I'm a bad boy of science. And this idea that like Doom is like trying to corrupt Reed and is sort of like having an influence on him, where it's like it affects his relationship with Ben.
Yeah.
Ultimately, and then it's just like that's all stuff that got cut at some point.
And also when he comes back from Planet Zero,
and all he wants to do is go back, apparently.
Yeah, he is essentially a completely different character.
Yeah.
He comes back, he's disappeared.
He has no idea why he climbed on board. He saw 4 guys and he was like, why'd you bring me here? He was like, what?
Well, his whole thing is like he
apparently
wants
got bipolar
to
in there.
Steal the power from the world. This, actually, we should mention one of the very famous Blue Sky Beam movies.
Yes, one of our infamous Sky Beams.
It was that era in Hollywood where we were like, that is the key to an incredible ending, right?
Yeah,
is a big light in the sky.
Obviously, the best one is the Avengers.
Yeah.
There's also one in the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Not the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, in Suicide Squad. There's a Man of Steel has
a version of it, which I actually think that one's not bad.
Yeah. It's a reverse one in that it comes from the top down.
Yes.
Which is different.
I didn't see Independence Day 2, but I imagine there's a Sky Beam in it for some reason.
I'm almost 100% certain that you're right. It was just like all that. It was always like, oh, we'll just put a big sky beam,
big laser.
Yeah, and it's
like blue lights
played out. It's nothing. They travel through one of Sue's teleportation bubbles, which we explain in military footage. I do want to say Reed and Ben's fight when he goes to they're like, we found Reed, and they send him.
Yeah,
there is I understand the dramatic tension of their conflict.
Yeah, you abandoned me
in this one.
It's a stronger move, but I also don't buy that this Reed would do that. He would just disappear for a year.
I also think
doing nothing.
I don't know if you picked this up. It's pretty hard not to pick up. When the thing headbutts Reed and there's squishy. No sound.
None.
It is a silent headbutt from the 9 feet tall rock monster.
Yeah, on the rubber man.
It's
not even a boing.
It's stuff like that where I'm like, dude, this movie's not even trying at this point. No. Like, we're just getting to the end.
Someone should just edit in like a.
Yeah. I think there have been edits of that. But Dune comes back and he's like, this is, I need to return to my world and power my world. And I'm like,
it's like, wait, why did you come here?
Frankly, who are you?
Why did you get in the spaceship if you just wanted to go back?
I guess he wants it to be powered, but it's like
he's like he just came here to taunt everyone and be like
motivation.
He's like, I'm back. You're dead. 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 Bye.
I don't hate some of the way his powers are visualized.
What are his powers? Is he psychic?
Yeah, it's like magic. It's weird space science.
I guess we talked about this last week.
Yeah, it's the same thing where they're
Doom is a sorcerer supreme.
Well, it's like they don't do that. It's like they want to find a way to base it in science because they're like, I assume they're like, well, the Fantastic Four come from science, so does Doom. It's
based on the comic stuff and the whole idea of magic, I think Ned Leeds has been set up better to be Dr. Doom than Robert Downey, CEO of Sex.
I would love to see Ned Leeds be Dr. Doom. I'm all 100%.
Everyone's like, Hobgoblin? Nah.
To see him walk out
Dr.
and
Doom.
He hits the back of his neck and a nanotech mask comes behind and it's Ned Leeds,
CEO of Sex,
superimposed on a CGI model. I think that would work.
It's like Sex 2.
But then we kind of just force ourselves into the third act.
We really do.
Doom shows up
kind of out of
like,
nowhere.
By the way, we're going to do a superhero fight.
Yeah, and then they're all like, by the way, we're all friends again.
Yeah. They all just kind of accept it. And I wish that this movie was trying more than it does in the back half, because when it starts, I'm like, listen, it's not perfect, but there are aspects of this that I think could work.
Yeah. I think it's funny that like, what are we doing for this big sequence? A variation of the one from the original movie.
Yes. We just have to learn
we're
how
going
to
set
fight
Doom on
together.
fire and trap him in a bubble.
Yeah.
Same move.
It's the same
just
move.
Not as good this time.
See,
this is actually this movie this is why I like the supernova in the first one.
Fair.
It's cooler.
Totally, 100%
visually
fair.
more interesting.
It's certainly more visually interesting than a desert at night and a blue light in the middle of the room.
Just in Sand Canyon.
Yeah, like we're just you just like drive like 20 minutes away and then
just in Utah.
Yeah, it's. I think this movie it's one of those things where like, if left to their own devices, I think they probably would have made a movie that is fine.
Yeah, it's like I want to see the other version, but I don't care.
I know 100%. It's like if it magically appeared on my doorstep, I'd maybe give it a watch out of curiosity.
Yeah,
but I don't. I mean, Josh Trank, when like a couple of years after this movie's out, on Letterboxed, he reviewed it. And
really?
he put this the Weekly Planet has it, and I'll refer to them. But he says a thing where he kind of brings up kind of what we're loosely alluding to is like a
Shut up,
Snyder...
Mr. Sunday Movies.
True.
Great thing. Been watching that show for a while.
True. But he alludes to like what we're kind of alluding to, which is like a Snyder Cut situation.
Yeah.
And Trank in his Letterboxd review says like, listen, like I'm not Zack Snyder. Like I don't have the ability to like push for something like that.
Yeah. Also, apparently most of what he had planned, like they overwrote him like while they were shooting. So he actually hasn't shot most of what he would need to complete that cut.
I mean, it's so clear that it is. I mean, like, again, the only time I think the movie is really trying to do the thing it wants to do is when they're starting to put their powers together.
Yeah, when they get back.
Yeah, I suppose in the beginning too, because we're setting everything up, but it's like the movie just abandons anything like that, and then they beat Doom because they work together as a team, because that's what they did in the first one.
That's what they did, yeah.
And Doom is, I don't know, blasted somewhere and is gone. And then they're like, again, the Fantastic Four causing damage and taking credit for saving the day.
Yeah, they just like leveled a small town.
It's like it's whatever that base is. They destroy
just obliterate a military base, and everyone's like, "So we'll give you whatever you want now."
Yeah. Tim Blake Nelson is like, "Well, we want to hang out with you guys still," and they're like, "Well, why don't you give us entire playground for us to play with?"
Michael B. Jordan, so much riz, great negotiator.
Yes. What if we say no?
Say yes.
Excellent argument. I mean,
dude rolled a nat 20 and just like got everything.
There is a moment where they kind of looked at the thing, and basically, I guess the assumption is, say yes, or our big rock monster will kill you. Remember, he killed 34 people for you guys. Yeah, at least confirmed.
He's got 34 confirmed kills.
And then they
just
go
like
to
Ratatouille.
Maybe the most nothing base at the end of the movie.
Yeah,
where it's like, and here's our playground. I was like, bring them back to the Baxter Building.
Yeah, just have them go back and have them be like
going in the deep in the mountains, like, you know, like
2 Power Ranger
that's
references
a good
on
Power
this
Ranger.
one.
Yeah, you know, I got to get one of those in there. Heck yeah. But
Luthor.
It's I like
fight
when they
the Power Rangers.
What's crazy is
that's a better villain.
Oh, 100%.
With all the love to Toby Kebbell again, like again, like with all the love to all the actors in this movie, it's just everyone's kind of getting screwed over again.
I don't blame the cast. It's one of those things where it's like it's just clearly like a ton of different people who all want to make a different movie, and a bunch of different people with specific interests and what they want to do and specific goals, and they just like. It's like Beyblades. They just like smash into each other.
They're just clashing into each other.
And here we are with this movie. And at the end, they want to set it up like we're the Fantastic Four now.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't buy, like,
I just don't buy that anyone likes each other
well,
in this movie.
Except Johnny has been nothing but nice. He's had some issues. He's been nothing but helpful. And then he just starts bullying the Thing.
Yeah.
Only because they are supposed to do
That's their dynamic.
There's some kind of antagonistic relationship between the two of them because they're the brothers. And it's them staring at random nothing.
Yeah. It's just, it's...
I like...
me looking at this movie.
I like the idea that the suits all are configured to do different things for their abilities.
Them. Yeah.
But could they look like something and not just like black mush?
Yeah.
You know, like
they're visually not very interesting suits.
Johnny's is the most interesting.
It's the most interesting, but I don't like that design.
Fair. Well, it's because
I think he can still do better.
You can clearly see what the purpose is, I suppose, that it's like, oh, it's vents because of fire and good for you. Like, and Reed, obviously, he's got the kind of coils that...
Yeah, the coils is an interesting idea.
Well, because I guess the idea is that, right, that he cannot keep himself together, and the coils are what do that, and he kind of uses those as a way to adjust. And then at the end, in the battle when Doom, like, kind of breaks all the coils apart, he kind of, like, you know, melts a little bit, and he has to, like, physically bring himself back together, which is a moment that they do not emphasize enough for it to be an important moment.
Yeah, what's that thing of like he can emotionally bring himself together enough to get out of there, so it's like I don't know why he has to need the coils later.
Well,
especially when he's doing like facial manipulation.
That's the thing.
By disguises, it's like it seems like you got this on lock, boss. I don't think you need the coils.
I like the face manipulation thing. I think it looks
I'm down for
weird,
it. I don't really like the effect, but again, it's another one of those things. I like the idea of this.
I will say
it's just not working.
Mr. Fantastic's effect has always looked weird.
It's
a
always
little
looked
bit
weird.
I'm very interested to see how. I don't hate the power. I just think on screen it looks weird, and
it hasn't looked good. The best it's ever looked is in The Incredibles.
Yes, because...
Which is also currently the best Fantastic Four movie.
Yes, and it looks the best because they're all cartoons.
Yes. That being said, though, I will say the Netflix's One Piece show has a pretty good stretch effect.
Okay, fair enough. I have not watched that.
I was down bad for that show. I thought it was great.
Season 2.
They just embraced the silliness and the campiness, and I think they do the stretchy power pretty great.
Yeah.
In that one.
And then this movie ends.
Comment and like. What do you guys think of the One Piece show? Are you guys excited for season 2? I am. Bless you.
If you want to say that again, you can.
I'm excited for season 2. He's allergic to anime.
Oh, no, don't say that.
Get him in the comments. Get him.
No,
get him.
please.
Get him, boys.
I think I'm going to sneeze again.
I'm like, weeboos, assemble.
I'll cut the sneezes out of the episode. Okay, no, I'm not going to.
No, it's okay.
But it ends with them being like, we're the Fantastic Four now. Isn't that cool? And it's
that's not how it ends. It ends with them being like, we should come up with a name.
Yeah. Okay.
Spoilers for last week's episode if you haven't seen
it. Yeah, for us referencing that. So, like, I don't know. You know what I mean? The ending where it's like, it's fantastic. Where it's like, I don't need you to do this. And, like, out of all the endings to do, that we're doing we're going to say the name of the thing and cut to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like that, like the Tom Haverford meme of like...
Yeah, his like slow smile towards the camera. I will say, it's a really funny thing to reference.
It's so much fun to reference.
I love referencing the ending to this movie.
I don't think you and I can go a week without doing that reference somehow.
I mean, it is that thing of if one of us says fantastic, the other one
say that again.
will on occasion say it again. Which of course we do.
Of course we do.
Yeah, this movie this is one where, you know, going into the conversation of do we need one more? Obviously no. And I think these actors all deserve
sarcasm.
I want to know why.
It's a big no for me. Like, unlike the other ones with like the previous one where I'm like, I feel like we're close. I don't feel like we're close at all.
Well, it's also
in this one.
So going back to something we talked about in the Raimi movies, and again, this like what we're looking to really like address with the show is the narrative runway, and is there room for more?
Yeah.
And this one, it just ends on such a. It's funny that it ends trying to be like, now we're ready to do another one. And it's like,
are you ready for 2?
but what are what
another?
Like, what are we leading into? What's the point? Like, where, you know what I mean? Like, I don't see us doing another one of these outside of it being a monetary mistake to not do one.
There was like a fan theory, or someone was pitching like bringing Miles Teller back as like, is it the Beyonder?
It's not the Beyonder. It's the Maker.
The Maker.
Yeah.
Pardon me. Come at me in the comments. Educate me.
I'm not against that. Also, famously, this version of Fantastic Four, we're going to be in Deadpool 2.
Yeah.
There's concept art of them and they've like
because they wanted to do the X-Men versus the Fan Four stick.
Well, they were, and then they tossed it, and then I think they were going to bring them back, and I think they were going to kill them.
Wow.
At least I think, because I think the idea was that they were a kind of the 1.0 version of the X-Force in that movie.
Oh.
Or something like that.
That would have been wild.
Yeah.
If they'd showed up and then got obliterated the way that they were.
He was going to call in the Fantastic Four to help or something.
Yeah. Okay, that Deadpool gag, the Invisible Man joke with Brad Pitt.
But
where it just cuts to like an empty space. Amazing.
Vanisher, yeah.
The Vanisher. That gag is really funny to me.
It's definitely better that it's X-Force. I think it's I don't think it's as funny to bring the which is obviously why they don't do it. Right?
Yeah, it's like well, that just seems rude.
Yeah, well, it's like the only reason you do it is to be like, hey, remember that bad movie we made a couple years ago? And it's like, I don't want you to remind me of a bad movie.
I know, yeah. It's like
I mean?
It's like in Godzilla, like they did a movie where like proper Godzilla kills Zilla. The Roland Emmerich one just obliterates him in like 30 seconds. Is what
it's called or something?
No, that's a different one. It's I think Godzilla Final Wars.
Okay.
Feel free to correct me in the comments.
The clip where he like whips him into the city.
Yeah, he just takes him out. Like he shows up and it's like it's the not Godzilla Zilla.
Yeah.
And then they just wreck him in the next 30 seconds.
Wonderful. But like,
mop the floor with him.
Yeah, like this movie, like it's like I don't even see, it's like the cast, like there isn't even, and I don't think this is entirely, I'm not for doing nostalgia plays just for nostalgia plays. There needs to be some kind of narrative reason to bring these people back. Yeah. But you don't even have really the effect of that. I think these actors all deserve to be in better roles. Michael B. Jordan gets to do a better role. He is fantastic as Killmonger.
He bodies Killmonger so hard.
And it's great to see him do that. And if the other three actors, Kate Mara is in Iron Man 2 for 2 seconds.
Wild.
But like if Kate Mara and Jamie Bell and Miles Teller, if they all wanted to ever revisit this genre, I would understand why they wouldn't, given the experience that they had.
Yeah.
But if they wanted to, and it was a different role, I think they certainly, it would be nice to see them get.
Yeah, I'd be down to see them come back and play different characters. I don't have any off the top of my head, so
sure.
Maybe we can play a game later. We'll do a fan casting episode.
That's
for fun.
But yeah, it's like
some wiggle room in the schedule.
It's funny because this is a movie that wants to be like, don't you want one more? Yeah. And the audience being like, don't try to trick us.
Yeah.
No.
Don't try to convince us this was a good thing.
Yeah. What do you made a bad movie, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's, I don't know. It's.
Yeah. So to answer the question of we need one more, you're a no on this particular iteration of the Fantastic Four, correct?
You want me to be honest?
Yeah.
I'm on the fence.
You're on the fence?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I think it's in the best interest that we.
The fence wasn't real.
Yes, exactly. The fence was invisible.
The fence was stretchy, and on fire,
and made of rocks, and I don't know where
this bit's going, but
this movie melted my brain.
It had promise, like this movie, but it falls flat.
When I first watched it, I went. I don't like this, but I don't. It's kind of a thing. Yeah. And I watched this again, and I was like, no, this movie is bad. It's just it has some avenues it could go down.
Yeah, and it's not like it's like an unwatchable kind of bad, like, and like almost you wish it was so bad it was good. But it's just so bland and dour.
It's like you said, it's like the cast is not having as much fun for obvious reasons.
Yeah, no one's having fun apparently.
So
apparently they're being terrorized by the director allegedly. Like,
It's
Although in some good news, this Invisible Woman also meets the love of her life on the set.
well, hey, that's good.
Do you know
for
who?
Them. Who?
Jamie Bell, The Thing.
Oh, I didn't
They
know
have
they were
two
together.
kids and they are still together.
Good for them.
Mm-hmm.
Good for them.
I hope this doesn't curse that. I hope you guys are great and have a wonderful anniversary.
Good for you guys.
But yeah, I guess they met and bonded over all the crap that was going on in this movie.
I could only imagine.
And
you
a
have
thing
to.
right now. So.
Well, good for them.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
But I don't know what that story is about. So I guess Vanessa Kirby. What's her relationship status?
Vanessa. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. But I know her and Pedro and everyone. They all seem to really be getting along.
Yeah,
It's nice to see
a lot of hand holding.
Them. It's nice to see a Fantastic Four cast like very clearly like
having fun with each other.
Yeah.
They enjoy each other's company.
Yeah, messing around.
Seems like something you might want out of these characters.
Out of a group of people that are supposed to be like a family.
Yeah.
So moving on from these movies, I will say, I did enjoy revisiting them because I am always just so curious about them, and I am so like wanting the Fantastic Four to really show, because all modern like casual audiences are all like, why are you doing another Fantastic Four? Those movies are terrible.
Yeah,
and it's like, I know they're not good.
Anything can be good.
Anything can be good.
These didn't happen to be, but
no. And I do
that
believe
doesn't mean it can't be done.
I believe everybody intends to make a good movie, and any story can work under the right circumstances. These unfortunately just don't happen to be the right ones.
No.
I will say we can, maybe if we want to discuss as we move out of these movies and into our next series,
Fantastic Mr. Fox. I don't know how this plays into as a sequel, but
I'm sure it's in there. I'm sure we can find the subtlety.
No, I'm just kidding. We're not watching Fantastic Mr. Fox. Maybe one day.
We looked at when we were starting this podcast.
Yes.
We were looking at movies that are coming out this year because we do want to talk about some movies that are current and question if we do end up getting a movie that comes out in the year that we are currently recording this, which is 2025.
Yes.
And a series that you and I adore,
that we have talked about for years.
We have
in the comfort of our homes.
We are, yes, absolutely, and now we get to talk about them on mic.
Yes,
very excited to discuss.
What are we doing next week, Matt?
Next week, Dave, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to watch
Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Exactly. No, we're doing Mission Impossible.
We're doing Mission Impossible. We're going to start with episode 1 and see this journey of Tom Cruise attempting to kill himself.
We will go from the beginning, Mission Impossible, John Voight.
John Reno.
We're going from Hasta Lasagna, Don't Get Any on Ya,
to
The Final Reckoning.
Emilio Estevez.
And we will go see that one in the theater.
We'll see that in the theater. So
hopefully IMAX. We should try to see it in IMAX.
We'll see it in IMAX.
We'll see it in IMAX. We'll make it work.
Yeah,
we'll make it work.
Make it happen.
We'll Mission Impossible scale,
Yeah, we're scaling to the episode.
Scale in there. But next week, we start with Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible.
So join us along for each episode as we work our way through. I will say it right now. Never seen Mission Impossible 2.
My friend, you were in for a treat.
I know that I am, and I can't wait to talk about it.
Yeah, get ready for slow-mo, long hair, and bullets.
It'll be my fan four stick.
Yes.
But yeah, so we can't wait to talk about that.
All right, yeah.
And
see you next week, I guess.
Yeah, we'll see you next week. Thank you for listening to We Need One More.
Be sure to follow us on socials like TikTok and Instagram at WNOM Podcast to stay up to date on upcoming episodes.
And feel free to join our Discord community where you can share your thoughts on the movies we're watching together. That's going to be at WNOM Podcast server with the link in the bio.
Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. That's the best way to support the show and to let us know that you need one more.
We'll see you next week. This podcast is produced by Pilot 9 and 9 Ball Creative.